Okay, Jody, now I'm going to show you something on the treadmill about stride length. Experts want you to increase your stride length to increase your speed, but here I'm going to show you it's just the opposite, that you try to keep your stride length as short as possible in order to be able to handle more speed.
Okay.
Now I'm going to start up the treadmill. Well,
this should be interesting because traditionally what he's saying is just the opposite of what I do.
Okay, now here when I land and the ground is moving away from me, the ground is what flips the leg back.
Right.
Like that. And you're supposed to shorten it, keep it from going too far back, and bring it back not too far ahead, because you want to get vaulted again at the same speed. So what you do is you step down and then cut off your stride length as much as you could. Leave your foot down.
Okay.
Instead of bringing it up like this here, like they want you to do.
And wasting time.
And wasting time.
And energy.
Right, and energy is right. Okay, now, do you want to try that?
Okay.
And see how that feels?
This is how I normally would kick back.
Right.
But he's saying that I should just...
That's it.
It saves a lot of time.
Yeah.
And a lot of energy, yeah. I can see that.
Okay.
Okay, what's next?
Okay, what I'm going to show you is something else on the treadmill, and that is I'm going to show you that you start out with no stride at all, and as the speed increases, I'm going to be running with no stride at all.
Okay.
And as the speed increases, my stride is going to be forced to increase, but I'm going to try to keep it short, in spite of the fact that it has to go long. It has to go faster.
Okay.
Okay. Now, so I'll pick it up to 8 on the treadmill. We'll start over here like that, and you notice that I'm starting off with no stride at all. See, and then my feet start spreading apart more and more as I'm going faster.
It's very soft running. I don't hear any pounding at all in what you're doing.
Because I'm touching the ground and then falling.
Wow.
After I touch the ground.
Well, that could be very beneficial for people with bone problems.
Oh yes, all these things that I was showing you are things that allow you to have a softer run and so much less impact.
Wow, that's great.
Okay, now let's go over here and we'll try something else.
Okay.
When you run slowly, a medium stride is more comfortable than a short, choppy stride. As the speed increases, the foot flips back farther, and you have to work harder with a body twist to exchange the feet. You cannot do anything at one angle, as the common fad tells you to do. By the time the body changes angles, lifting yourself up in the air would take 100 different angles. So it is impossible to do anything at one angle with the leg and body at one angle, head to toe. In a sprint, you take to the air with both feet as soon as you get out of the starting blocks. That is so you can keep landing behind your weight for the whole time you are increasing speed with each step. The feet are forced to spread apart wider with each stride by the speed of the receding ground. The foot going back is flipped by the ground, and the foot going forward is pushed off the hip by the body twist. In the walking process, the twist is done very easy for the feet to keep up barely with the speed of the body. When you reach your maximum walking speed, your legs won't let you move any faster. That is because your feet are forced to spread apart and can't exchange fast enough to catch you. Your sense of balance holds you back so you won't fall. To go faster, you have to do the same thing you do walking, except you have to take to the air with both feet. The only reason you take to the air is to give yourself the additional time needed to exchange your feet. To increase speed, we stay longer on the grounded foot and let our body fall ahead. Now gravity is pushing it at our back much harder. Jody, running the old way she was taught, is overstriding, lifting her feet way too high and knees too high. You can't run fast the conventional way. Tossing yourself up in the air for long strides makes you run slower. The longest strides you can take makes you go the slowest. You cannot run fast by striding long and jumping high. Okay, Jody, now I'm going to show you something about how you should land, whether you land flat or whether you land on your heels or whether you land on your toes. Now, for distance running, you should be landing flat because if you land on your toes, your calf muscles can't really handle the stress as much as your quadriceps can, because the leg is practically straight when you're landing. But if you're landing on your toes, there's a total angle to it that makes more stress on the muscle. The leverage is much greater on the calf muscle if you're running on your toes, and you can only do that for a short distance. It's the most efficient place to be, actually, to go forward, but you wouldn't want to do it for distance running, just for sprinting. Okay, now, if you land on your heels, what happens is you're pulling up on your toe with all that weight coming down, and with your shin muscles, and your shin muscles are working very hard, and a lot of people have problems with their shins or shin splints, right? Okay, so what you want to do is spread the force of the landing across a wider area, which is the 3 pads of the feet.
Where would that be?
Okay, 1 pad at the heel and 2 pads just behind the toe. On the feet. Okay, now there is no need to roll on the foot like they tell you to because the ankle rotates. So you could be vaulting with the ankle rotating, and you don't have to land on your heel and roll. Besides which, when you land on the heel, it's not a stable platform, and you tend to pronate or supinate.
Oh, that's a lot of problems for runners. Lots of runners have problems with supination and pronation.
Yeah, because
they have to
it's
get
not a stable
orthotics.
point. But if you're landing flat, your foot is stabilized on the ground, and you're not going to pronate or supinate that
Well, that makes sense.
Okay, now Jody, you see that each of... Here we see Jody Hawkins running in the National Masters race. She's been training and racing with my technique. The person behind her, the woman behind her, is a 4-time, 15-time world triathlete champion. Jody won the National Masters Championship, and she did it by dropping her feet less in front on average than anyone else in the race. That's the way every champion wins. To reach your pace, you have to keep dropping your feet behind your upper body's center of balance. That way you pick up speed with each step. Once you reach your level pace, you drop your feet less in front than anyone else, and that's the way you win the race.